Okay, so I didn't realize I did not have the microphone on. And those of you who are watching can probably see that I don't have the microphone near me. So we're doing a Japanese bolt action soldier today, quick painting. The image you see is from the Warlord website with the color. There's sort of a greenish brown uniform with greenish boots. I'm going to go over what you need to paint this quickly in roughly under 20 minutes if you take out some of the stuff that I did. We're going to start out with Argos Dune mixed with a little bit of camo shade from Armory Painter Speed Paint. It's going to add a little green to it. Just getting a brush there. I had to find a bigger brush because my current big brush that I use for slopping stuff around, I cleaned it real well and then I put some hair clay on it to try to give it shape again. But here we go with the Agorist Dune and the camo shade, just slopping it over. I'm actually not even slopping it that well because the brush is sucking up most of the paint and I can't get it on the figure, but I will remedy that soon and you'll see me slop it all over the place. Just covering every little bit of it, everything. Just cover everything. There's no reason to leave anything undone. You'll see that I missed some spots and you'll see that it beads up a little bit, but just literally cover anything. It doesn't even matter if you cover his hands or his face because you're painting regular um, skin color over that anyway. It's not going to matter. I don't think I get the gun, but it's not going to matter if you cover up the gun with the speed paint either because you're covering that with regular colors too, so it doesn't even matter. And you can see there I got a little bit of the hand. Probably got a little bit of the face there too. I do miss part of the shoes, but I do go back and fix that because I want that color over the shoes, and then I'm going to go back over it with the camo cloak green just to green up those shoes a little bit. Now I'm drying it, but as I dry it I'll start to see some spots that I missed. You'll see me go back to them. I'm going back to them now. Unfortunately, I did not put it on the camera, which is a terrible habit of mine, is forgetting to put it on the camera. I honestly didn't even realize I did that when I'm sitting there doing it. I'm not even looking up. Again, that's just touching up all the white spots I found with the camo app. See, there we go. There you go. Pay attention to what you're doing. Covering up all the spots I missed or the spots that beat it up because of the primer. Back to the hair dryer. The hair dryer is what takes some time. If you're batch painting these in 5 or 6 guys at a time, you just start with one, sit it down, and by the time you get to the end, that first one will be dry so you can move on to the next step. Okay, you know, this is not detail painting. This is just get the guys on the table for my games. Remember, these guys are going to get wiped off the field immediately. You know, the first HE shot that comes in, 3-inch HE shot that comes in, you know, wipe out half the squad. I mean, are you really going to put 2 to 3 hours per figure on those guys, sure, it looks great. I mean, if everybody is sitting there picking up every one of your figures, it looks beautiful. But nobody's picking up every one of your figures. Right? They see you put the figures on the field, they say, hey, I'm going to aim at those guys, I'm going to shoot them. Boom, they're dead. Right? They're inexperienced, they're dying on a 3+. I don't know exactly what these guys are. My buddy Alejandro, he plays Japan, so he gave me one of his miniatures to paint so I can make this video. I cannot believe I went through the whole video and did not realize I was not using the microphone. Now I have to go through a whole bunch of work for one video. Alright, what am I doing here? I'm looking for paint. What paint are we looking for? No, we're looking for a new brush, sorry. Looking for a new brush, a smaller brush. Now we're painting the camo cloak on the shoes to make them a little greener. Just covering it up with green, nothing special. It's easier to talk while I'm doing this. Voiceovers for me probably will not work because I feel like I'm not saying enough or I'm saying too much. So just camo cloak over the shoes. My dog walked in, checking things out. I had some food in here earlier. He's probably looking to see if there's any leftovers. Not for him, it was salad. I think I'm looking to see what color to make the helmets, maybe. Yeah, I'm not going to be good at voiceover. Unless I practice a lot. This takes away from the whole flow, to me, of what I was doing. Yeah, I'm looking for the helmets. See, some of the guys are in green uniforms, some of the guys are in tan uniforms. Some of them had green helmets, some of them had tan helmets. I choose to use the Agarose Dune on this again to make it a tan helmet, just to match the uniform. Again, nothing special. You know, I was talking about how I don't really go into historics that much, into the colors and make everything, you know, you get these guys who are into historic games and they're solidly getting, you know, the German beige green from 1943. You know, man, that's too much work for me, brother. When you're delving into that, you know, you're into it. I just want to get my figures painted and have fun throwing them on the field, throwing dice. I'm not all about that historical accuracy. God bless the people who are, because it's great. It's just not me. And maybe it's not you, and don't feel bad about it if it's not you. Paint your miniatures the way you want to paint them. They're your miniatures. Don't let anybody tell you what colors you should use. I'm suggesting colors. All right, these are the colors that I find interesting. These are the colors that I think are going to work for this particular figure and are going to work for what I'm trying to do. Alright, we're using some Scrag Brown here for the stock of the gun and the bottom of the gun where it's wood. And I use the Scrag Brown because it's a little bright and I want that brightness there so you see the stock, but it's going to get toned down when I put the universal wash on it. So don't worry about that. And again, we're just going over the bottom of the gun, both sides. I want you guys to have fun with your games. Right? If you are one of those people that are just there to play the game and painting isn't your first thought, then just get these things banged out fast. Right? They look fine. From 2-3 feet away, they look fine. No one's going to notice. Right? This is the stuff that you still will go onto the field with a fully painted army. And yeah, one day you're going to go against some guy who's got his army with, you know, say a Hungarian army with all the accurate colors for the time period, and, you know, the straps are the right colors and everything like that. So what? So what? You're there to roll dice, have fun. Right? That's what you're there to do. You obviously watch these videos because you don't want to spend all your time painting. I love to paint. Right? I just know that with the amount of miniatures that I have, plus all the miniatures that I've gotten playing Bolt Action and Conflict 47, I will die with a pile of gray if I don't do something about it. So I had to change my train of thought. I had to go and start fast painting. Now you see me doing the metal. This is Broadsword Silver by Army Painter Speed Paint. I use this silver a lot. It goes on fast. I love the way it goes on. You know, you get some of these metallic paints and they're sticky. And then when you add water to them, they break up and they're spotty. These speed paint metals are brilliant. I love them. I don't know why I was so against them for so long. I mean, they are great. The glittering gold is great. The polished silver is great. Horde bronze is a little dark and it takes a while to mix up. Brazen copper I haven't used yet, so I don't know. I got some greens because, oh, there's my favorite. These are the figures you take time on. This is going to be my inexperienced or regular German officer. She's like an air person from probably the US, but I dressed her in gray and said, you know, she's being an undercover German officer now. You know, and I really only took about an hour and a half on her, and I think she turned out great. You know, I should have did a video on her, but I sort of painted her, stopped painting, painted her, stopped painting, painted her, stopped painting. And I finally finished her up yesterday. Alright, so it looks like we're going for the skin color. And I was saying that I used Bugman's Glow because I'm not sure how this is going to come across wrong, but I really don't mean it wrong. I don't know how dark Japanese people can get being out in the sun, like the sun of the Pacific, all the time. I mean, granted, they were in tunnels a lot and stuff like that, but I felt like a darker color was better. As I go about it, I sort of question my decision and think I should have went with a lighter color, but you know, I made the choice now, so we're just going with it. And just painting up the face and the hands. I go back to it for time to time because I missed a spot. This is all, again, you're just fast painting this stuff, man. You're not, I dropped it there. You're not painting for a painting contest. You know, half of you will probably win a painting contest just for turning in the whole painted army, and people see it and they're like, wow. Looking at it from 2 feet away, it looks great. You know? Now, if you turn them in as individual figures, are you going to win a painting contest? Probably not. I think I cover up a strap on his face a little bit with the skin color, but it's not going to matter. You sit this guy down with 30, 40 other guys, nobody notices. Nobody cares. Right? They're just looking at your guys ready to roll dice and blow them off the field. They don't care what they're painted like. A lot of them will care that you took the time to paint them. And this is why we are doing these videos. For you to take the time, 10-15 minutes after all my blabbing and stuff through this video and stopping and changing things, you're probably 10-15 minutes per guy. You know, you got to add some time for the drying with the hair dryer, but worst case 20 minutes, because I'm blabbing through part of this. I'm showing you pictures, I'm showing you my undercover German officer. You know, so you're done in under 20 minutes. And that's with basing. Right? We base this thing too. Just covering up all the skin, places that I missed. I did turn on the light a little bit because I needed to see his face and a couple things better. And I know it whites out the miniature, and I apologize, but the way I have to do it for the camera feels like I'm painting in the dark. Going back over the green shoes. Now, all of this, I know I say on there that once you get a squad done, once you get 20-30 guys done, say that's the entire infantry of your armies, 20-30 guys, you know, take them out again, hit them with a dry brush, hit them with some highlights if you want. You can always go back to your miniatures. Your miniatures are never done. The minute your miniatures are done and they can't be improved, stop painting. Right? When you can't find one thing you can make a little bit better, just stop painting. You can always find something to go over. You can always add that one last highlight. There he is. He's done. He's all done. Now we're going over to the basing. Happen to have my basing container right there. I do say we're going with a little bit of greens and a small bush because, well, you're in the Pacific. So I also say that I've been using my thick glue, and I prefer my thick glue, but for some reason my thick glue has been causing things to frost up. And let me look real fast at this. Yeah, see, this other glue did not frost up the way my thick glue has been frosting up. I don't understand why it's frosting up. I'm gonna have to look that up. There you go, you got 2 tufts of grass. Went back to get my glue because I got everything packed for tomorrow so I can build projects at work tomorrow. This is a little bit thinner glue, so you got to be careful you don't squirt too much out. Get the tweezers, pick up the grass, boom, one grass tuft done. I could have dry brushed over the base a little bit. You don't need to. You know, it's just one extra step when you're trying to get these done. Nobody's gonna notice. Alright, and the little bush. And that's a complete figure right there, except for the universal wash we're going to put on. He's done. Even I use speed paint, so you could leave him done like this. I like to use the universal wash because it ties into other colors that aren't speed paints, ties them in together with the stuff that are speed paints, ties it all together, darkens things a little bit. So paint brightly. Right? If you want your stuff brighter, paint brightly and then tone it down with the wash. You can always add more wash. You can add a different wash that's darker. There you go, right there, boom. Universal wash. And I always say where I got it from. This is the Marine Juice from Sonic Sledgehammer. Great channel, go check it out. This wash is in mixture in a 60 milliliter bottle of Lamia, a bottle of Lamia medium, a bottle of dark tone, and a bottle of Reikland Flesh Shade, all mixed together. It will fit in a 60 ml bottle from Amazon. There you go, you're getting the universal wash on. There, now you can see it a little bit better. I said, looking at this picture, looking at it to me when I'm sitting there, feels like I'm painting in the dark. That's what happens when you get old, your eyes go bad. I think I'm just blow drying it there. I will see some puddles that I have to fix in a minute. Yeah, I'm just blow drying, and here I'll stop, and I see some places that are pulling up that I need to take care of. There's another spot that's pulling up that I need to take care of. You're just pulling it off with the dry brush. That's all you're doing. And this is the miniature done, right? We're sitting at, right now, 23 minutes, and I'm just pulling off places that are pulling and hitting it with the hair dryer. You're doing 5, 6 of these guys. You're just going on to the next one, letting them sit there. Always go back to them, though, because the stuff, gravity will pull the wash. So every few minutes, go back to them and check that it hasn't pulled somewhere that's going to look terrible if it dries. So yes, always go back to them while you're painting those other figures. Stop in a minute, go back to them, take the dry brush, see if there's any pulling. If so, get rid of it. Oh, those are the magnets I use. I don't know how to travel with Bolt Action or Conflict 47. Those are 25 millimeter magnets by, I don't know how thin they are, ridiculously thin. They're strong as hell, but they're about $1.25 a piece. It's ridiculous. Alright, we're just drying them up now. And that's a done miniature. You're going to be done in 15-20 minutes tops. That's one guy done. And that's doing it the slow way. If you're batch painting, you're going to be even faster because you're boom, 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 knocking it out, knocking it out. That is a single Japanese infantry guy, done and done. Alright, you guys take care. Have a wonderful day. Like and subscribe if you would. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.